Alright, first off, I'd like to say our praises to Yahweh Shemel Shai, the one of the apostles of Clement Stone, and shalom to the brothers in highways and byways in this work in our sincerity and truth. So the brother Aaron from James Jamaica camp, James Intellect once more. And basically today we just want to do a response video on the IUIC video entitled The Israelites 666 and the Microchip. Right, because when you watch a video you really see how deceptive and cunning and unlearned Nate and him crown is, because the part of the video me mainly attack are the part where they talk about the strongs, right, and the lexicon and all the information where them bring out and all of that. Now if them they read the information with knowledge and understanding, then I must say yo them the article or the information I tell them say people like them who unlearned can't use the strongs them, because them are either them are use the wrong word or misinterpret or throw off the whole storyline or the whole plot of the scriptures, right? So with that, me just going to feed them information. Me actually print screen the page, because we don't know exactly which part them get them links from. They never put none in the description, so we just print screen the page and we just read each point and basically just pull it apart. Excuse me. It says strong. The part here talk about the Strong's concordance. It says Strong's concordance is not a translation of the Bible, nor is it intended as a translation tool. The use of Strong's number is not a substitute for a professional translation of the Bible from Greek and Hebrew into English by those with formal training in ancient languages and the literature of the cultures in which the Bible was written. Now they must say, oh, the whole concordance is not intended to be a translation tool or for substitute for so-called professional translation. So they basically when them say if you can't speak Hebrew or Aramaic or them something there, it make no sense to use the Strongs to try interpret the Bible, right? Because for them argument is that the Strongs are just a show is like a dictionary. It just show you the Greek word and what it mean. No, which in true you can't really get everything word for word on certain aspects, but also if you use a dictionary, if you understand what words mean. Now based on the meaning of the word and the storyline of the scriptures, then it's easier and in my opinion BLB go off, because it can be used as a translation tool, because we don't know we're not gonna we need dictionaries, we need Hebrew and Greek dictionaries, so we can have an idea what the original text has said, or we can better able to interpret the original text by use of a dictionary. Just like if you read a story in English and you recognize the English word but you don't really know what it means, you actually go back and you look up the meaning, so you have a better understanding of what the text has said, right? So let I hit on the slide. I'm try to make the lesson here as small as possible or short as possible, right? So the second part of the article, then we actually read the second part first, and then go back. So this is the second part of the article. It says, since transcordance identifies the original words in Hebrew and Greek, Strong's numbers are sometimes misinterpreted by those with adequate training. Strong's numbers are sometimes misinterpreted by those without adequate training to change the Bible from its accurate meaning simply by taking these words out of cultural context, right? So they must say, oh, if you're unlearned, right, or we not have adequate training, then we basically misinterpret the words. And the two examples them give them and say, oh, the mark of the beast or the chip never exists back then, so you couldn't have a word to describe the chip, or you could or say lay hold on mean rape, right? That are two of them arguments, but as we continue go down, we just expose it more. It says, the use of strong numbers does not consider figures of speech, metaphors, idioms, common phrases, cultural references, references to historical events, or alternate meanings used by those of the time period to express their thoughts in their own language at the time. Now, that is true. Can get example. When Yahushua talk to the man of his son, he basically of the demon of the disciples and could take out him, say, yo, oftentimes him fall in the water and in the fire. Now, if you know the scriptures, you will know that is a idiom or metaphor, so to speak, pertaining to affliction. So I must say, from the youth, from a child, him basically get afflicted by this demon. And you have references in a Psalms where the scripture tell you that the Most High bring you through the water and the fire. Also reference in a Second Esdras, right? Second Esdras 7, I think. So he write about that. Say all of the strongs, because you have to see a strongs for fire and you have to see a strongs for water, which is true. But that's why we here at GMS we study you can just say we study all things. We know a little bit about biology, we know history, we know word meaning, we know we study different languages. We do all of that. We basically study ourselves, study to show ourselves approved. But because neither of them now do that, and basically them no want to come to terms that the mark of the beast is the chip, then basically want back up, because even with the whole layout and thing with the real rape issue. Elder Gabar going at the history where them ask you have a question and type in how old was Mary when she had Yahushua, right? That one and most of the results come up 13, 14, right? Which is the time of the flower of the age. You have the brother Rakoya him basically bring out an article and show you, say, look here, when they have sex, but then at the age they used to marry the girl them. So I said the girl them father give them up for rape, and then them talk about, say, if you just have sex with a girl and get 50 shekels of silver. If you know the equivalent of 50 shekels of silver back then, you know say it was a hefty price to pay for a woman, because that basically them round it off to roughly 7 years worth of work. So if it's a case where they do that, they actually have to pay a hefty price, 50 shekels of silver, 7 years of work, yo. So I never like I just want simple thing where just pop a girl and just get 50 shekels of silver, because that is that a historical reference, that are the cultural reference, right? That are the cultural idioms. But because uno unlearned, because uno inadequate, uno can't break down the scriptures, right? Uno not fit to use the BLB, because it's right, you can't just take up some words and all of that and don't know the fullness of the doctrine. You can't know the whole if you don't understand the whole storyline of the Bible, then when you use the BLB, you go off. And we tell you that they have bones in the BLB, yo. Like in some cases where you see the word gar and a car for dead and all of them things there, yo. You have certain scripture where if you look up the word Lucifer, they might tie it in with all Satan and all them things there, yo. So if the BLB have bone, we never say perfect, but guess what? We know how to use it, because we have give the understanding of the scriptures, because of all them things you research, right? As in this figures of speech, the metaphors, the idioms, and common phrases, the cultural reference and them thing there. We research. So unlike we just take up the word like word for word, or interpret each word like fire or all them things there. We don't do that just so. We actually do research to find out what this means. And another example for sure that when we reach a part of the analysis still, we just continue this. It says as such, professionals and amateurs alike must consult a number of contextual tools to reconstruct these cultural backgrounds. Many scholarly Greek and Hebrew lexicons, example Brown Driver, Briggs Hebrew Lexicon, Thayer's Greek Dictionary, and Vine's Bible Dictionary, also use strong numbers for cross-referencing, encouraging hermeneutical approaches to study, right? So, we basically tell us you have so you have to do cross-referencing, you have to study. That's why when I look up a word, you can also go down in the Chaldees lexicon and the Septuagint commentaries and them thing there. Even a certain King James 11 Bible have certain commentary and all of that. And you can research with the commentary them I say out and get more information, because they can't just solely just take up the word just like that without looking at the whole phrase or the whole sentence in their whole entirety. So unlike we just translate the words them word for word and then say, it mean this or it mean that. We actually do research, yo. And they're going to say exactly how that tie in with the chip, because in an ancient time I want to ask them this. In an ancient time, what did I use for mark people? Because them pull out two scriptures, them pull out the word seal, them basically use it to justify seal as the word we're supposed to do there. And don't want deal with charagma within a particular text. Them use a different Greek word from a different text with a different English word, because you have seal and mark. Them they use charagma. Them use scleats for, I think, or we have it just now. Let me just see if we can spragitso, I think, because this kind of move slow and not really come up. How you used to mark servants back then, because in a ancient Israel, you have a servant where you want where you willing to stay with you after Hebrews. You pierce them ears at the door, yo. You could have pierced but then they used to pierce servants. But then they used to brand them with certain mark. If you watch a movie or the series Spartacus, you see how Batiatus mark him in Gladiators with the big, they burn the hot bee and put it on their hand. You also have the slave where they work with Batiatus' wife, Nineveh. Basically she did one high class slave, because she work with the domina, which is the female head. Or the female master in the household. She did like our handmaid, our personal handmaid, and she did get a particular tattoo for marks. And look here, when I see the tattoo upon the particular slave here, she is of the higher head, or she work for the domina of the house, right? So, but then in a vision when Jonah see the people them receive the mark of the beast, which is the chip. You would have basically see them I get a puncture, I get a mark, just like how back then them used to mark them. I only back then that I only reference could have find for how people mark people, and the only way people could have basically buy or sell if them have that mark. Reason being, when they have that mark, it shows you it identify you, because the purpose of a mark is to identify you. Identify say a part of the system. So only those that are part of the system will be able to use the chip for buy or sell in the system. It's just a simple thing as that. But them they use some similar examples, like them say, yo, back then them never have certain words for use, so they basically substitute use similitudes. Yeah, that's what them say. So if you can understand the whole purpose of similitudes, why is this mark of the beast thing so hard for you to accept? Because you know all that hard, yo, but because you have be wicked. Right? So with that we'll go which one that's 1, 2 Slovakia. It says, so basically I must say you have two methods of translating original languages. The first is called formal equivalency. This method is the method that provides as best as possible a literal word-by-word translation. We say as best as possible because a strictly literal translation would be generally unreadable. And we have the book of Sirach to prove that, because in a prologue of Sirach he say, forgive us where we may fall short on some words, when they translate from one language to the next, it basically the language lose its strength. Right? That is why you have to do them research and them thing there. So that is an example right in there. The scripture tell them thing there. So I don't know why need them make this a difficult thing. It says the second model is called dynamic equivalency. In this case, the idea is to provide as close as possible the original meaning, giving consideration to the idiom of the time translated in the day's modern language. And besides certain Bibles or certain commentaries, then we basically tell you why the system why it say what it said. Like for example, back then you would hear about the sons of the prophets, right? If you go down in a lexicon, it just basically it tell you say them never the literal son, or just students or pupils what the prophets them used to teach, we used to follow the prophets. So that even go back then for show say look here that would be an example of dynamic equivalency, right? So it's not that hard, yo. I don't know big or heavy. Them just be a devil with the whole scriptures, right? And find the final Slovakia. Oh, that's a 3, 1, 4. Alright. It says the Blue Letter Bible team does not believe that the Authorized Version, more commonly called the King James Version, is the only Bible translation that can or should be used. We do not believe that any particular translation of the Word of God is inspired and errant. The Blue Letter Bible team does believe the King James Version to be a good literal translation in the 17th century English based on manuscripts available to the translator at the time. However, it is the difficulty of the language that is a hindrance to reading the Bible. Then we believe it is best that a person use a good modern translation to read the Bible. Now that is a messed up excuse for dilute the Bible and change up the Bible and put in things when I really mean. But when I really look upon it, what them say on a lie, the old English, the 17th century English is hard to read. And we can get an example. The brother require come again. When he bring out when the Lord say, and what will I? Is to if it be already kindled, be already kindled, right? Well, before me used to read that, before me see that breakdown, them just used to basically take it as it is, meaning say the Lord when he come, he must see the fire. But when you understand Old English and the more dialect and the dynamic equivalence or translation of Old English, when him say what will I is a phrase, is a phrase to say what do I want, or what is my will? In other words, he might ask you, what is my will? For it to be already kindled, meaning say the Lord he want this place to burn me while him there, yo. Him they already ready for the kingdom. So all them things here what them basically I do, I just straight right hypocrisy and just bullshit, yo. Because even at the end of the video, them go back to, as me mentioned before, but me go go in a detail the time, right? Them basically look up the word sealed in a Revelation 7:3, right? And then basically use the word there. But before that, them they look on Revelation 13 when they see the word mark and say charagma, and then them say, look here, the BLB is not a credible source, so we now go work with that. And then right after that, them go Revelation 7:3 and use the definition for sealed for suit for them agenda, meaning for sealed the knowledge in their forehead. Now the elect will get sealed with the knowledge of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, but the wicked are the people basically who go against Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. They might receive the mark of the beast. They might receive the identity of the beast. Are subject to the beast. So basically they might get marked as a part of the system, as a part of the beast. Right? So that are basically it from that. Just so I make this a short lesson. Hope you brothers were edified. And I just want to say you need for if you plan for repenting, better start from now, yeah, because he have a whole heap of blood on him and right now. He have a whole heap of blood on him and right now, and the most I kill him for that, yo. So with that, I'll read one scripture. And this 2 Timothy 2 verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Exactly. So that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to study for show ourselves approved, yo. And them simple ass niggas up on the comment board where I say, yo, them they puzzle them and then glad them understanding now and all of that. We need to tell them say, oh, the 666 or the 6 trumps and all of that bullshit there, yo. And both the commandments and this and that, or the commandments of the system and a whole bunch of shit. If them they learned, then they understand say all of what them are read about the BLB, I coordinate them. Because all of this we get mentioned about the BLB, make them in none of them standards there. Whether them to be a professional translator or not like that. So how them are break down the Bible. And if the BLB off, then what the source we use to translate the Bible must be precept upon precept, line upon line. But yes, you have Hebrew and Greek words of the original text, but you still not understand. So how you will get that if you don't have some form of tool or resource to help you understand the fullness of the text? But they now pray that you, they just jump and just read this blindly, yo. No form of discernment or nothing. So with that, once more like we say, all praises to Yahweh Hashem Shai, the bonus to the apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the brothers and highways and byways doing this work in all sincerity and truth. Shalom.